How y'all doing today? This is Emmanuel with the Grab Some Popcorn podcast, and I just saw Greenland 2 in theater, so I'm gonna tell you all about it here. So, here goes, some first impressions. So I went to see Greenland 2. I checked what was playing and saw Greenland 2 was in theaters, and I haven't seen any advertising for it. I faintly remember the first one, but I didn't have time to watch it before I went to the theater today. The first one was about how a meteor shower basically hits Earth and takes out 75 to 80% of the entire Earth. And this movie starts off with scenes of them in some kind of an Air Force base where they have been surviving for a couple of years. You see how they're living and how the Earth is all scorched and broken in the first part of the movie. It basically shows you that they have to go to school inside of this base, and everything they do is basically living inside this small base with tons of people that they can barely house and feed. Then some sort of an earthquake or event that destroys the base, and there's a huge riot, people scattering everywhere trying to survive and escape, and that was the first part which kept me engaged very well. Now let me tell you about some emotional impact, some scenes or memorable moments. So once the base was starting to get destroyed, we see the main character and his family take off for one of the lifeboats in an effort to get off the island there, on which I believe was Greenland. They get to a lifeboat, and along with the small group of other people who escaped, they start making their way to London by way of sea in that lifeboat. There were problems all along the way and throughout the rest of the movie, so the earthquake that shattered the army base was a memorable moment. Them running out of gas in the middle of the ocean was a memorable moment. Arriving in London and seeing how half the place is underwater was a memorable moment. I mean, there was an emotional or memorable moment almost every 10 to 15 minutes of watching the film. Hard to point out just one. One of the moments that stuck out to me was when they were driving from the UK to Paris, and what used to be a channel that you had to take a boat to cross was now gone, and they literally just drove across it because of all the meteorite debris that filled the channel. And there were many more moments, and you just have to watch the movie to see everything. There was literally something happening every 10 to 15 minutes, no shortage of suspense. So let's talk about the unique factor. I've definitely seen movies like this before, but it's been a while since I've seen one like this, and I enjoy these types of movies because they're definitely my cup of tea. It had some good action, but instead of it being action like good guys versus bad guys, it's kind of like people versus Mother Nature when she turns bad. So it's not something that I've never seen done before, but it's definitely interesting when it's done well, which it was in this movie. Now, issues I had with the movie. The only issue I really had with the movie was the fact that they called it Greenland 2 Migration, and this made me go in thinking that they were going to take an entire huge big group of people, like for instance, like everyone in Greenland, and migrate them to a different country, when I realized that it was just a lifeboat full of people and that we were only going to follow the one family through their migration. It kind of changed the perspective for me. I think the title was kind of misleading, but other than that, the movie was great. Tons of good drama, action, suspense, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. No really big complaints, other than the title. Let's see, the score and recommendation. So I definitely recommend you see it. It's only an hour and a half, and you can watch it with the whole family. There's nothing too bad in there. Again, my only pet peeve was that the title was misleading, and I was hoping to see like a large migration of people, and we followed the story of just one family trying to make it from Greenland to the huge crater, which was located somewhere in Eastern Europe, where I guess the main big part of the meteorite hit. I'll give the movie an A, minus the confusion about the title. It was really good. It was done well and definitely was great to watch and spend an hour or two in theater enjoying the cinema. Takeaway at the end. So the main character, who was played by Gerard Butler, was pretty sick during the first part of the movie, and he did make a promise to get his family to safety since the island they were on was basically destroyed. He vowed this, and the entire journey he was sick but wanted to make sure his family made it to safety at the crater. At the very end of the movie, watch out, there's a total spoiler, so plug your ears if you don't want to hear it. He ends up dying right as they make it to the crater, and you can see all this green grass and beautiful flowers growing because for some reason the impact where the crater impacted is perfectly fine, while the rest of the Earth is suffering from radiation poisoning. So it ended on a pretty sad note, but the takeaway for me at the end was a father's bravery and promise to his family was kept despite pretty much feeling like he's dying the whole migration, like the whole trip. So definitely check it out if you like these types of movies. It had very cool CGI. You got to see a whole bunch of like meteor showers and these like radiation storms and a whole bunch of action with, the, military keeping certain territories, holding certain territories. And it was just, it was just a great movie. There wasn't a boring moment in it. So, yeah, that was just my take on Greenland 2 Migration, which is out in theaters. This is Emmanuel with the Grab Some Popcorn podcast. Until next time, over and out.